Mr. and Mrs. Peter had to go out that night for dinner with some friends. Therefore, to take care of their two boys, they arranged for a babysitter. The babysitter was supposed to arrive at 8, but by 10 past 8, she hadn't arrived yet. Suddenly, the doorbell rang. Hi, Samara. Thanks for coming. We'll be home late. Maybe around 1 in the morning. Please feed the kids and put them to bed by 9:30. I've prepared some snacks for the kids and put them in the fridge. If they give you a hard time sleeping, read them a story or something. All the storybooks are in their room. If there is any issue, please call us. You have our number. Bye, kids. See you later. And be good, okay? Bye. Enjoy your dinner. Samara fed the kids and put them to bed at 9:30. By 10:30, the kids were fast asleep. After putting the kids to bed, she came downstairs in the sitting room to watch TV. While watching the TV, Samara felt a presence behind her. She turned around to check and found a clown doll on the other side of the room. It was unsettling to find something like that in the room. She felt as if the clown doll was staring back at her. But then she reminded herself that it was just a doll. It's late at night, and I'm sitting here all alone in the room. Maybe that's why I'm having all these creepy feelings. After dismissing these thoughts, she continued watching TV to calm herself. After a while, she heard someone breathing heavily. This terrified her, and she muted the TV. But there was dead silence. It was quiet throughout the house. Also, there was no sound coming from the kids' room. Then she turned up the volume of the TV again, thinking it was all in her mind. While watching TV, she had the feeling of eyes burning in the back of her skull. She felt that the doll was continuously watching her. A chill went down her spine. It was getting creepier and creepier. Eventually, she got sick of all these feelings and decided to move the doll into another room. After moving the doll to another room, she came back to the sitting room and continued watching TV. Now Samara was feeling very relaxed and comfortable. All those creepy feelings that she was experiencing because of the doll were all gone. After a short while, Samara's phone rang. It was Mrs. Peter calling. Hi, Samara. How is everything? Did you put the kids to bed on time? Yes, Mrs. Peter. Everything is fine. The kids were great. They didn't give me any trouble. They had their food and slept on time. Wow, that's great. We will leave the party around 12:30. Let us know if there is anything you need. I'll talk to you later. 1 minute, Mrs. Peter. Um, I wanted to tell you something. Sounds a bit funny, but your clown doll that was in the sitting room, I have moved it into another room. I don't know, I was feeling a little uncomfortable watching TV with it being in the room. I thought I'd tell you, if that's okay. Samara? What clown doll? We don't have any clown doll in our sitting room. My name is Alina, and this happened 3 weeks ago. One night, my husband came home and told me that he's got something for me. It was a baby monitor, one of the fancy video ones. I asked him if my 3 a.m. visits to the nursery were starting to bother him, to which he replied with a smile, maybe a little, and that he thought this might help us both sleep better. I glanced at the sleek white baby monitor box and said, okay, let's do it. We set it up in the nursery that night. I pointed the camera right at the crib and placed the monitor at the nightstand. I fell asleep watching the video feed of our son peacefully sleeping in his cot. I jolted awake. I quickly looked at the monitor. The feed showed James sleeping, looking like a little angel. I smiled and fell back into a deep sleep. The next night, as John and I were getting ready for bed, I asked him if he heard the weird noise coming from James' room last night. John seemed a bit worried and wondered if we got mice again in the house. I hadn't even thought about that until he said so. I started getting anxious and told John that I should sleep in James' room tonight, just in case because I didn't want mice getting into the crib. John said that I didn't need to because I have the monitor, but I was still not satisfied. He frowned and told me that I was overreacting and getting anxious for no reason. It wasn't my anxiety. I was just concerned about our child's well-being. But John didn't understand and kept saying that I shouldn't be concerned so much and relax. We had a bit of an argument and finally I decided to just leave it and slept. I woke up again at 3 a.m. Instinctively, I reached for the baby monitor. The red light blinded me in the darkness. I waited for my eyes to adjust. There was my little man facing away from the camera, with his little tufts of hair sticking every which way, sleeping peacefully. I set the monitor back down on the nightstand and closed my eyes. My eyes flew open. James was facing towards me now, eyes closed peacefully, puffy little cheeks smushed against the soft pillow. Alina, sleep, he's fine. Stop checking him again and again. I thought maybe John has a point. I forced my eyes closed. He's fine. The fog of sleep filled my mind, melting my thoughts into dreamy nonsense. He's fine. He's fine. He's fine. Don't check on him. Just go to sleep. A loud cry came through the wall. When I looked in the monitor, I saw that James was laying in the same position. But despite the cries coming from the nursery, his mouth was closed. What the hell? I leaped out of bed and grabbed the doorknob and yanked it open, running blindly into the room. Get away from him! Within a matter of seconds, the woman slipped out the window. I grabbed James out of the crib, held him tight against my chest. John came stumbling in. Call the police, someone was in here! As I held James tight against me, something caught my eye. The baby monitor camera, its red light blinking in the darkness. There was something propped up in front of it.
I reached out and turned it over. It was a photo of my son sleeping peacefully in his crib.